With every breath, a promise to rise. Together we chase the limitless skies. Galvanize the world, feel the mold of my life. Every healthy choice, it feels so right. Data in our hands, we hold the key. A future built on trust and integrity. Galvanize the world, feel the light. With every healthy choice, it feels so right. Data in our hands, we hold the key. A future built on trust and integrity.
Well, hello, Galvanators. It is time for us to get together again this week. Can't believe it is Tuesday once again, and we are uniting across the globe as Galvanators Unite with a common goal, a common cause, and that is to go out there and make the world by decentralizing healthcare, give people hope, give people their own personal medical paths and plans, and to be able to just see people improve. You know, we know that everything in life has a cost, and we have to sacrifice. The question is, when are we going to sacrifice? And one of the things that I learned a long time ago is if we sacrifice now for better things later, then we're not forced to sacrifice later because we don't have options. And if we can help people just have a better knowledge of the options out there, the things that they can do to make themselves healthier, the things that they can do to go out there and help their families and their communities by what Galvan is all about. Education, giving people rewards for going out there and moving and doing those healthy actions, and through the process, sharing and being compensated for that sharing. That's what I love about this. Usually, when somebody has something as good as we have here at Galvan, they're not willing to share. But with blockchain and with what we're doing, that's what this is all about. It's only about community. It's only about sharing. So we've kind of flipped the traditional business on its head with everything that we're doing here at Galvan. And I'm just excited to be on this call and be in this community. And as we get started this week, I just want you to be thinking of that. I want you to think about you're doing something that is going to be talked about in the future, because history is changing and the way things are done are changing. And we are some of the first to go out there and do that. So super excited about today's call. We got some great information we're going to share with you. And we love to start and kick things off by hearing from Dr. Adam Sharp as he's going to share some insights and some training today that I know you're going to be able to utilize in your family moving forward and just becoming better and just better educated. So Dr. Sharp, we'll turn it over to you. Thanks for being here and taking over, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you, Byron. Thank you for everybody that's tuned in today. We are excited to present this information every day. And, you know, this is, I want to talk a little bit about mindfulness, meditation, and pondering. These are often terms used synonymously. And so sometimes I'll say, just speaking of myself, I haven't always understood some of the distinct differences and how each of them can be beneficial in our health and well-being. I also want to share something. It's the era of AI. This is unrelated. Well, it's not unrelated. It's just not about mindfulness, meditation, and pondering. So I want to share something. I went into AI this morning and I just asked, hey, will you give me a summary on what's been going on with the IZRC20 token since the beginning of 2025? And here's what it showed. Modest growth. While IZE remains a low volume token, on-chain activity has been gradually increasing in 2025. That's awesome. That's exactly what we want. It also says notable increases in transaction volume align with specific events. Now, we know that some of these events are partnerships with the Well Collective and creating new opportunities within our wallet to exchange IZE. That's awesome. That's part of event-driven spikes. And then it says the last bullet point that AI says is current stability. It says post-April transaction volumes have stabilized, indicating a consistent user base. That's all of you. So again, that's just straight from AI, ChatGPT, summarizing what's been going on this year with IZE, and I think that's exciting. So let me get into mindfulness, meditation, and pondering. This is start with a quote. This is from Carl Jung. Says, you can read it here, your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. And this is what we want. We want each of us and each of you to awaken to your best self. So meditation, mindfulness, and pondering, as I mentioned before, these are interchangeably used. But in the same way I would use in our physical exercise, that I think most of us have learned that there are clear benefits to different ways to strengthen our body. For example, many of you like cardio. You may like to swim or run or bike or do something else that keeps your heart rate elevated for cardiovascular benefits. We also know of the vast benefits of strength training. Well, meditation, mindfulness, and pondering are similar to those types of different activities that you can do in order to strengthen your body. And these are practices that will help you to strengthen your mind and as it says here, elevate your well-being. So let's jump into what each of these are and how they're similar and how you may benefit. So meditation. Now, I am not a master of meditation, but I've known a few people who are, and I've done my own different episodes of meditation. This is focusing your attention. Now, some people who can meditate masterfully may be able to actually clear their minds entirely. But often this is done through your breath, just focusing on your breathing, or having a specific mantra that you may repeat, or a visualization that you will focus on and keep your mind specific to that very small piece of data or activity, a breath, a mantra, or visualization. So that's a very focused attention on something. Now, I've thrown in a few just bullet points here about things that are benefits that have shown to be benefits of those people who meditate. People who are able to clear their mind and focus on one small aspect or one specific thing. It reduces your stress. They've also measured cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone. It improves your memory and emotional regulation, and it can improve anxiety and depression, as well as potentially support even your heart rate variability, which is they refer to as autonomic balance. So focusing the mind has not only benefits to your mind, but also to your autonomic balance, or I would say your body's ability to relax. So this is meditation. Next, mindfulness. Mindfulness is when we are able to be fully present. If you're anything like me, this takes effort. Sadly, there are times where I come home to my wife and kids, and I am still thinking about work or something else that's worrying me, and I am not fully present. I have found that being fully present is maybe one of the most rewarding aspects of life. People talk about how you have work-life balance and the variety of things that we have. Well, the reality is that we can only do what we can do wherever we are. And being fully present helps with that. And again, there's a variety of things that have been shown in science that if you are able to be fully present, even if it's in small things, like when you're on a walk. I feel so bad when I watch I take my dogs on a walk. I think I even mentioned we got a puppy a couple weeks ago. And so I feel bad when I see people who are out walking their dog and they're looking at their phone. They often are stumbling across something because they're not present. They're not being mindful to the benefits of what a walk can offer. Similar with food, similar with listening. When you're talking to somebody that, whether it's a new acquaintance or somebody you've known forever or a family member, being present and being able to be focused on what is happening is mindfulness. And it has a variety of benefits, not just in interpersonal relationships, but actually in sleep. Isn't that interesting that when you can be fully present in the moment, it helps you to control your mind. And that is a tool, if you're like me at times as well, when you lay down to go to bed at night and your mind is racing in 100 different directions, it makes it hard to sleep. But when you're able to be fully present and recognize that it's time for sleep and it's time to relax, that is an exercise and a tool that can be very beneficial to you. All right, last but not least, pondering. So what is pondering in comparison to mindfulness and meditation? Well, pondering, if meditation is to clear your mind, pondering is somewhat the opposite. It is to think deeply. It's to reflect upon what it is that we're doing and why we are doing it. Pondering helps us to define and figure out what is our why. If you've heard about people talk about, why am I doing the things that I am doing? Why is it that I wake up and I read? Or why is it I wake up and I go to the job that I have? So finding purpose in our actions in life is pondering. It's something that allows us to make sure that our mind and our heart and our purpose, and for those of you that are spiritual, it allows us to actually tap in to spiritual insights and self-reflection. This has less study. It's harder to define and quantify deep thinking, but they find that this can obviously supports moral reasoning and personal growth, and can help us to find our purpose, which we all know is self-evident in terms of its benefits. So, a few similarities. All meditation, mindfulness, and pondering, they all encourage self-awareness, to be aware of how our mind is, how our body is, how our circumstances are impacting us. It allows us to get rid of the mental clutter. In the era where our phones are constantly telling us about everything all around the world, that can be good. It can also be a lot of clutter and create a lot of distraction. It can promote better emotional regulation, helps us to focus on our emotions, and it can also help us to be intentional, to make sure that what we are doing is actually spending our time on the things that matter most to us. And it can be done by anybody. That's the beauty of, that's part of our mission at Galvan, is to help you to control what you control. So meditation calms the mind, mindfulness sharpens awareness, and pondering deepens our understanding. Take home tips: block out 5 to 10 minutes a day. Pick whichever of these you prefer and reflect, breathe, or just simply notice what's going on around you. And then it's always helpful to understand and ask ourselves, how am I doing? Where am I right now? What matters most today? What matters most to me in the moment? You don't have to be perfect at this, as it says. You just have to start. You have to be willing to exercise your mind and make sure that you're using it to be the person that you've always wanted to be. So with that, we'll close with the Socrates quote: "The unexamined life is not worth living." And that is where meditation, mindfulness, and pondering can help you to have the examined life. And as always, galvanize the world to heal humanity. So with that, I hope that's helpful. I'm going to pass the ball over to Robert the Beloved with some new G+ product tips. Take it away, Robert.
Thank you. Thanks for the tips yourselves. That was wonderful. Today, what I'd like to do is go into the wellness check a little bit. Here on the main screen, if you want to pull up your screen and look at it together, on the main screen, when I'm looking at it, what tells you that you've already done your wellness check today? There's really a couple hints that allow you to know that you've already done your wellness check. You can see right here in the little checklist box, there's a date, May 13th. So that suggests today I've already done my wellness check. And then probably the biggest thing is, typically if you haven't done your wellness check, you'll see a little notification up the top saying go into your wellness check. So those are the two things that would allow you to see if you've done your wellness check. If you want to go back into your wellness check to see your results, you just click on this hamburger menu at the bottom, and at the top you can see wellness check. So if I go into my wellness check from today, it will show me my results from today. I can see my energy. If you can see that little blue pill right there, it says my energy is right smack dab in the norm. As I look to my mood, it's above the smile. It's going towards the smiley face. So my mood was above my norm, but you can notice that the stress level it's going towards the frowny face. So my stress was below my norm. What we do, speaking of one of the tips that Dr. Sharp gave us, was to take 5 to 10 minutes to improve. What we do is anytime that we have one of our 3 energy, mood, or stress below your norm, we will pop up what we call a power up. A power up is something that you can, within 10 minutes, do to educate yourself, or an activity that you can do to improve, in this case, your stress. So for instance, if I click on this power up in the orange, it takes me to a power up, Raisin meditation. And then it will go through have you ever heard of Raisin meditation? What an intrigue there. And so this will take you through how this technique of raisin meditation will improve your stress. I won't go through it all right now, but what if you do your wellness check and everything is in norm or better? You will not get a power up. What we have provided in those cases is you can see the green and the purple and the red G's at the bottom. You can randomly select one of those three, and it'll take from our whole archive of power ups a random power up that you can then try for the day as well. For instance, I've already done it. You can see my purple one is highlighted. And so did you know, taking a break, this goes into micro breaks, micro productivity it talks about, and it'll go through ways that you can, in a very micro productivity, hence 5 to 10 minutes, improve your well-being. What I'd like to do is show you the latest power up that we've done. This one's called Dead on Your Feet. It has to do with sleeping. How are you sleeping? And you'll notice at the top, the carousel goes by. If I push my finger on it, it will pause that. So you'll notice that little bubble at the top, the second one, is not going to grow until I let my finger off. You can't really see that I'm holding my finger on it, but I am. In other words, so in the world of sleep, the recommendation is 7 to 9 hours. And we're suggesting it's not only to hit the amount of 7 to 9 hours, but the quality of that sleep matters. And so as I let my finger off, you can see the thing go, and then we'll go to the next. And so we're going to give you 3 tips to snooze like a champ, as it were. The first tip is to stick to a schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time each day will improve your circadian rhythm, and it'll also help you fall to sleep faster and wake up feeling more refreshed. So that was tip 1. The second tip is screen time. And Dr. Sharp mentioned this about screen time. Sometimes we do get too caught up in our multiple device screens. And this is suggesting at least an hour before you go to bed to turn off a screen and not view that screen. And then the third tip that we have is to have a cool environment where you sleep. This suggests, if you can read the details there, that to sleep in an environment around 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 degrees Celsius, and that will help your core temperature get to a better restful state and give you a more deep restorative sleep. Anyway, that is what we have for power-ups. So again, from your wellness checks, even if you are in the normal or better, you can select one of the 3 boxes to do a power-up. Or if you're below, in this case, in the stress level, you'll have another power-up. So at least every day, you can have 1, maybe 2, 3, even 4 if all 3 areas were below the norm, then you would have 4 power-ups, which are, again, just a quick, easy way within 5 to 10 minutes to make you feel better or to educate you on how to be better. With that little tip, I hope that you will continue to use Galvan to monitor and improve your wellness. That said, I will now turn the time over to Casey for a tip for her. Casey, thank you.
Hey there. Okay, so I'm kind of going to piggyback onto what Robert was covering. Some of the things that we have available to kind of expand on a lot of those power-ups is our Galvan Learn articles. So if you go to our website, galvan.health, right across the top, you can see this Learn button. So if you click here, it's going to take you into our Learn Article Center. This is where we are publishing new articles each week. We've got a whole library in here that you can go through. These will expand on some of the power-ups that we have. It will be different press releases that we have. It will be some of the topics that we've covered on some of the Galvan calls, similar like Adam's coverage of the aspirin and ibuprofen versus the NSAIDs. So we'll have lots of different articles posted here. So you can browse through these different articles. There's tons in here. There's stuff about Web3. So lots of good content here to be able to use. And then again, from the Galvan website, you can always scroll down to this bottom. And if you need any support at all, you can reach out to our support center to find answers there, and we'll be happy to help you. That's pretty much all I have today. And I'm going to turn it back over to Byron.
There we go. You hear me now? Okay, couldn't find you. There we are. Hey, well, thank you so much, Case. I love that there's new articles happening, as you can see, with the power-ups and everything that we're doing to impact everybody, and just give them what they should be doing. I love what's going on with the G Plus app, and then just the importance of being intentional. I loved what Dr. Sharp talked about, being intentional, pondering, and focusing on taking the time for ourselves as we move things forward. Powerful information for sure. And as I'm sitting here and I'm thinking of all this, I can't help but think of times in my life, and I want you to think of times in yours, where you felt like you were kind of stuck, where you felt like you didn't know if you could take things to that next level. You didn't know kind of where things were going to go, but you had to change something. And anytime I've ever seen somebody, and I've watched, because I've had the good fortune of seeing so many transformations. I don't want to call them rags to riches stories, because there's a lot more to wealth than just money. Yes, money is kind of a byproduct. Being truly wealthy has a lot more to do than just money. But seeing transformations, and it all started with being able to do something that you didn't think you could do, changing your kind of your mindset, and changing what you were thinking could be done and what was possible. And I want to share something real quick as I pull this up, and I hope I can find that here. There we go. But this is a picture of myself and Monica years and years ago. Obviously, I think I'm in Romania at this time doing an event. And what I think was interesting here is I had an experience that took place here that kind of changed my belief in certain things and what I thought was possible. And I don't know if you've ever done this. I know that sometimes when you go to a Tony Robbins event or different things like that, they do a fire walk. They have these firewalks. I don't know how we talked the hotel into allowing us to start a big old fire in the back of the hotel, but we got approval to do that. And thinking of being intentional and thinking of mindset and meditation and all the different things. When I saw this, I'm like, there's no way I can do this. I mean, how am I going to walk across this? I've been burnt before. But one of the things that they taught us as we were experiencing this was that you had to get yourself into a kind of a mindset where you had to imagine you overcoming an obstacle that was in your way. And if you could imagine in your mind and see yourself overcoming something that was holding you back, and you had that feeling of exhilaration, like, how did it feel? This the power of the mind. How did it feel when you were able to overcome this? Or were you able to do something that you didn't think you could do? What happened? What was that feeling? And if you were in that state, then you would walk on the coals. And I remember when it was my turn and kind of going up to these coals. I mean, you can see they're white, red hot. They're like burning our shins as you're standing next to this and thinking, I mean, how am I going to walk across this and not get burnt? But I followed the instructions and walked across it, and other people did as well. And when I got to the other side, I did it without being burnt, and I couldn't believe it. And I thought to myself, one of the reasons why this was kind of a breakthrough for me is I just did something that I thought couldn't be done, and I thought, what else can I do that I'm holding myself back from doing? It's me. The biggest obstacles that we have in our lives are typically us. We're putting those roadblocks in front of us. And so what do we need to do is we need to do some of the things that we talked about today, and have that understand the importance of our mind, understand what we're after, what we're pondering, what we want, looking internally. But what is our programming? What is it that is the foundation for where we're going? I'm not going to do a full training on this today, but I would take hours as I travel and I break this down for people so that they can have a breakthrough in their life, like I've been able to have breakthroughs in my life when I changed some of these things for me. But I'm just going to read through these real quick so you can see them. But this is it. The foundation for your success always starts with your programming. Is it serving you? Do you believe that you can really be an impact in our community and go out there and bless people's lives? And by doing that, be able to overcome, because your programming and your beliefs also affect the feelings, and our feelings affect our activity, and our activity and actions reflect our results, and that affects our lifestyle. So I want us to be thinking about that as we're hearing these things today. All the time and energy that's being put in to the different posts and the different articles that you can read, they're all important and true. All the things that we're doing with the app, all the things that we're doing with the community, the things that got Dr. Sharp sharing, all of these things matter. Do we see ourselves changing people's lives and in turn changing our lives forever? Can we really see that happening? Because if we can, and we can have this breakthrough in our mind, everything that we ever see here or that we ever create here existed here and here first. It exists in our heart and in our mind. We have to see it. And we have to believe that. And this is where it exists. And then we create it. So I want everybody to realize that we can be thinking bigger. We can be doing more. And I have seen time and time and time again, people that didn't think they could do something change their lives and change generations because they changed one thing. And that started with the programming and the way that they looked at things and what they thought was possible. So, this week, as we're focusing on going out there and doing some, sharing some things with people that we care about our community, about the G Plus app, about Products in the Well Collective, about all of the different things. Let's go out there with the idea of why wouldn't somebody want to do this? We're offering something that is unbelievable. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't people want to know more about it? Why wouldn't everybody be on G Plus and have that app? Why not? I mean, how many times do people spend opening up social media apps and all these other different things? What if they just took a little bit of time for themselves and they could be rewarded every day for doing that? That's the power of what we're talking about. And I love it because that's what we're about. So together, we can make big things happen. One drop of rain won't affect anything, but it's the thousands of millions of drops that nourish a forest, right? That make everything green and living. That's the beauty of us working together in this community. That's what it's all about. So I want to thank you for being who you are, for being that drop. As together, we're going to be able to make a difference and be able to do more than we ever could do by ourselves. And so as we go forward this week, let's remember that. Let's think of what can we do so that our mindset's a little bit different. Take all the things that you've heard today, and it's about implementing. Remember, knowledge is not power. You maybe have heard that say, applied knowledge is power. It's only powerful if we take it and apply it and do something with it. And so let's go and apply something new, because we're the happiest in life, I believe, when we're improving upon something and we're growing in something. And we have that opportunity every single day and week here at Galvin. So before we end, one of the things that we do want to do today, since we've been doing, and rewarding the swap of eyes, we're going to do something. We're going to go back to a Kahoot, and we want to reward people for this as well. So we got 5 questions. If you have a phone handy, if you have something handy, we're going to be doing this Kahoot. And so you're going to need to put in a code. And I'm going to come and make this live here so you can see this before we get started. So you want to go to, if you're on, I believe, computer, you want to go to kahoot.it, and you're going to put this code in. So www.kahoot.it, and then you can see the pin. It's going to ask you for a pin, 776. I think it's 0871, if I can read it. we're going to wait a second for a few people to get on. And what we're going to do is we're going to reward you with ice. You want to earn some free tokens today for attending? This is what we love to do. We love to give away and have people be able to benefit from this. So we'll see if we've got anybody that's going to participate. We got Galvanators. So we got somebody that's going to win for sure right there. Got a Galvanator that's going to win for sure. I know we didn't give everybody a big warning beforehand, and probably should have given you a warning right at the very beginning so that you were ready for this. I know it's kind of difficult when people are looking at their phone and viewing this through their phone, and then, that's how they're doing this. It's kind of hard. You almost have to have two devices. So, okay, we've got 6 people so far, and we will count down to 5 and get this thing started. So your odds of being a winner in the top 3 are pretty high right now, which is what I love. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. I'm going to start this. Okay. Hopefully you can see. Can everybody see this? Okay. 2. What are some ways that you can be a good community member? Use the G Plus app. Stay educated on Galvan products and services. Follow and engage with Galvan social media, or all of the above. Now remember, this is not just getting the right answer, but it's the speed in which the answer can be given. I'm going to just read a couple of these off just in case somebody does have a phone they're looking at and they're harder to read. But let's see. We got 3 people that got that right. Great job. Let's go to the next one. Let's see who the winners are so far. Who's leading the charge? Galvanator, Blue, Greg. Okay, we got 3. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Number 2. How can I swap for the eyes token? Or where? Uniswap, Galvan Wallet, MetaMask, or all of the above? Let's see what we got here. Okay, nice. Almost everybody got that one. All of the above. Okay. Multiple opportunities to be able to swap, which is awesome. Okay, let's see where we're at. Blue took the lead. Galvanator and Tara is coming up. Great job. Okay, let's go to the third question. What is the Galvan website? Galvan.health, Galvan.com, Galvin.com, and Galvan.health.com. I think this was in the chat not too long ago. Okay, great job. Galvan.health. Fabulous. Let's see where the standings are now. Galvanator back on top. Blue, second, third, great. Okay, sweet. Number 4. Bitcoin value is higher today than in 2014. True or false? So higher value today than in 2014. Sweet. It is true. Considerably higher. I think we peaked over 100,000 a token again, which is awesome. Okay, see where we're at. Galvanator still leading charge. Blue's catching up. Tara, Greg's right on the heels there. Here we go. Last question. Speed is important. The wellness check uses AI to objectively assess to assure you're nourishing your soul. See how that. Okay. Sweet. Let's see how this is going now. Who the winners are. Number 3, Tara. Good job. Blue, 5 out of 5. The winner is Galvanator. It's fitting for our Galvanators Unite call. Congratulations. Case, what do you want them to do? Are they just going to text you? or message you, email you, or
Yep. If you just email support with your Kahoot name, I will send over some eyes to your Galvin wallet.
fabulous. Great job. Thanks, Case. Appreciate that. Good job, everyone. And stop sharing now. Okay, so it pays to attend, to come to our Galvanators Unite call every single week. If nothing else, our goal is to come together, rub shoulders, energize one another, learn, and get focused as we go out there and have another amazing week. So great things are happening. Go and check, if you haven't checked lately, the new products. I don't know if you've tried the GLP-1 caramels yet, but they're amazing. Some of the new products that we have in the Well Collective, and we're going to continue to add additional ones. So have a great day. Let's go out and make things happen. I'm Byron Belka, and I'm a Galvanator. Take care. We'll see you.